All right, so talking about brainstorming, these are just going to be a few different strategies that you can use before you start designing, just to get your brain going. I know you've been doing brainstorming since you were probably in kindergarten and first heard that word, but sometimes though, when we get a blank sheet in a design program, it's just really intimidating. Like, where in the world do I start with this? So, of course, that's what we've been focusing on these last few weeks is, I don't want y'all to freeze up when we make our first design. So brainstorming, of course, you just start with a wide net and then you narrow down from that where you actually want to go with your project. You can put something from the most obvious design or idea to the least expected. Okay. Um, and then, oh, so the first strategy that we're going to talk about is the visual brain dump. So I didn't give you an example in this PowerPoint, but there is one on your learning module right under this video. It's just basically sketching out whatever comes to mind when you think about this project or about the product that you're going to be speaking about, the story that you're going to be designing around, anything like that. Um, so of course you don't want to spend much time on them. It's just a quick sketch. They don't have to be perfect. Basically, no one else even needs to understand what you're trying to draw. It's just for yourself, just to get your brain going. Something else that you can do is create some sort of digital board or a collection of visual images around a certain word that you've decided to go with. This can also be, well, we'll get to that in a minute, but I did make you an example. So, oh, you're not going to be able to see the one in the top right corner, but that's okay. So I made a visual board here for y'all with the word healthy. This is something that comes up in ag a lot is what does it mean to be healthy? So when I put this into PowerPoint, these are some of the images that came up. So there was some with people outside in nature with the sunshine, people exercising, bright, colorful fruits and vegetables, excuse me, weight loss, water, exercising, all of these. And I thought it was interesting too that most of the images that I pulled up had women and not men. I don't know what that says. Maybe they think women are more focused on being healthy than men. Um, I don't know. Anyway, but that's a great example though for you of a visual board. So, what I was kind of getting into here on the last one, I wanted to bring up Pinterest. I use Pinterest all the time, but it fits more into this category, thinking of everything from everywhere. You can keep a physical sketchbook or a notebook just of ideas that you see, like maybe you're out walking around and you see um, just a funny thing happen, like in the park or something, you can write that down, kind of like a writer does, but you're looking for more of like visual things. Maybe you are at a friend's birthday party and the wrapping paper on a gift really sparks an idea for you or you think is really creative. You can take a picture of that and add it to your digital notebook or collection of things on your phone or your computer. And then also with Pinterest, look at other designers or put in a word there and see what comes up. I use Pinterest a lot for designing, maybe too much. And when you first find an idea that you like, don't think that you're going to be copying that person because you're not. Even if you think you're going, you should never intend to, you know line for line copy anybody. That's not ethical and not right to do. But even if you were to try to do that, you'll quickly find that it's nearly impossible, especially if you're going to start from scratch. You really have to make it your own at some point, right? So sometimes I'll get on there if I'm designing like invitations for somebody, or I haven't done that in a while, but invitations for my son's birthday party. Maybe I know that he wants Daniel Tiger, and so I'll put in, maybe I'll start with like 3-year old party invitations, and then maybe I'll move on to like Daniel Tiger party invitations. And from there, I'll figure out, okay, I like that from here and that from here and that from here. And then I'll figure out how to combine them and I'll sketch it out. And then I'll figure out how I'm going to do that, like in my own way of how I know how to design, in my own personal style too, of course. So never feel like it's wrong to look at other designs in order to get inspiration as long as you're doing it in an ethical way. But it's probably good if you really do want to be in graphic design for your career to start a notebook now. I still go back to my notebook from when I was an undergraduate. What am I trying to say? An intern at a property management company here. I did some graphic design for them. And I go back to that notebook for ideas all the time, just because it was a time where, first of all, I didn't have a kid and I didn't have a full time job. So my brain was able to think of things more. But also, with me being in school, I was always thinking of creative ideas. So this might be a great time for you to start your own notebook right now. So, one more strategy that they gave us in the book that I'm using for this class is to think of, well, I'll get to the example, but when you're doing a design, think of an icon, index, and symbol for whatever you're trying to communicate or as featured in the story or the product or whatever you're designing for. So an icon is going to use shape, color, sound texture, and other graphic elements to create a recognizable connection between image and idea. Okay. Index though is going to get a little more broad, and instead of like that specific thing, it's going to point to objects that abstractly describe what you're focused on. If you're really confused, don't worry, we're going to get to this in just a minute. And then a symbol is going to be even more broad, but the best thing that I know how to describe that as is words, or I shouldn't say more broad, but more abstract. So words, when you think about it, they're really just lines and curves that to certain people mean something. If you really want to think of it, really understand what we're meaning by this, think of like a Chinese character. To you, that doesn't mean anything. Maybe some of you have tattoos of it. Do you really know what that means? I don't know. But it's a symbol though, right? It means something. Even though to us in the Western world, CAT is cat. Um, to someone who doesn't know English or doesn't know how to read, like Leo, he has no idea CAT means cat. He just knows it's, this curvy line, straight line, and some other lines, even though he's learning letters. But to him right now, they don't mean anything. They're just like a picture to him or something. So let's get into that a little more. I'm going to make myself a little smaller here so hopefully y'all can see it. Thinking about a school, okay? So an icon for that would be literally a school, right? Let me see if I can draw here. Um, Laser pointer. Okay, so literally a school, right? And then when we're thinking about going beyond our icon now to index, so things that abstractly represent school. So like a ruler, a pencil, a diploma, books, a lunch, especially the lunch with an apple, then you really know, oh, that's school lunch. That's not work lunch. I don't know why, but you do, right? And then our symbol, of course, would be our word here, which is school. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and no, I'm going to split this up since this is your actual homework assignment. So let me go ahead and stop this, and then we will get into mind mapping.